Well, hello everybody and welcome to the channel. This is David Bianco. So in case you hadn't noticed, this video is going to be about the Beatles. It's the Beatles Vinyl Tag 2024. And I want to thank Rachel at Rachel's Ghost for this idea because it's a great one. And being a Beatles fan since the beginning, it really hits home for me. So it's a great list of things and I've even added a bonus on it. So let's get started. Number 1, what Beatles album do you own the most copies of in any format or combinations of formats? Well, for me, it's Abbey Road. I have 13. Abbey Road is my favorite Beatles album. It's a classic in my opinion. And since this is a bit of a vinyl audiophile channel, I want to let you know that the best pressing of this that I have heard is the UK version on Apple, the original version. And the pressing is marked with -2 on side A and -1 on side B. And I acquired one of those in my pickups in Houston, and the gentleman that we visited down there with their great collection. Recently, I also acquired a second one. And the reason I bring this one up is it's from Australia and it has stereo here in the corner. And this one actually is the UK-2-1 pressing. So it is the same essentially as the other one, but it was a lot cheaper. And so keep your eye out for that one with that stereo logo on there from Australia and check for -2-1. Again, a classic album, really the last studio album that they did. The LP ended with the song called The End, which made a lot of sense, it being their last album. But again, it is my favorite, and again, one that you should have in your collection. All right, show a Beatles bootleg. So I've tried to pick one that maybe is different. This is called Strawberry Fields Forever on NEMS Records. It's listed in Discogs as unofficial, 1985, but ironically, they allow it to be sold, which is usually what they don't do with, quote, bootlegs. So I'm not sure why this one is that way. NEMS was an official label that's from Great Britain, and it has some outtakes and things from their live sessions in different cases, different takes. It has Strawberry Fields Forever, The Bus, The Inner Light, The Fool on the Hill, All You Need Is Love, A Perfect Rendition, and Hey Jude on side 1. And then I Am the Walrus, Thank You, Guru Die, Happy Birthday, Your Blues, What a Shame, Mary Jane, Had a Pain at the Party, Peace of Mind, It's All Too Much, and The Barber of Seville. Very interesting LP. Again, it's called Strawberry Fields Forever on NEMS Records. The last Beatles record that I bought, well, it was the Red and Blue, 62 to 66, 67 to 70, red and blue vinyl version that was released in the fall of 2023. And I'm sure there's a lot of us that was our last Beatles purchase. Number 4, show a solo album of your favorite Beatle. Well, Paul McCartney's my favorite, and Ram is my favorite album. I remember when this one came out, and I was so endeared to it. Of course, there was a big hit on it, Uncle Albert Admiral Halsey, which was a really catchy tune, which was very popular, and the rest of the album is super strong. So I would suggest if you get one of these, you get the original on Apple. None of the reissues, in my opinion, quite match the OG on this one. Show a non-US or non-UK Beatles LP. Well, I'm going to show you this one called Sessions. It's from Germany, and it has a variety of songs. It happens to be somewhat of a bootleg as well. It has Besame Mucho, How Do You Do It, One After 909, Leave My Kitten Alone, That Means a Lot, If You've Got Troubles, I'm Looking Through You, and Christmas Time Is Here Again. And on side 2, What's the New Mary Jane, Not Guilty, Come and Get It, which, yes, is the Badfinger song. The Beatles wrote that, of course. At least Paul McCartney did. While My Guitar Gently Weeps, and Mailman, Bring Me No More Blues. So again, this was a German. It's on Odeon label, and it's called Sessions, and it's a non-US, non-UK album. Show a Beatles single or EP. Okay, well, I was going to do a separate video on these, and I said, well, I'm going to blend it into this one. So I picked up a set of singles a few years back, quite a few years back, that were made for jukeboxes. And so when you look at these, and again, this one's a little boring. It's Love Me Do. It's capital purple label in the 80s. It's got Love Me Do and P.S. I Love You. So that one's kind of a boring regular single. But most of these, and this one here is We Can Work It Out and Day Tripper, they are color. So you got a nice pink one there. We've got You've Got to Hide Your Love Away and I've Just Seen a Face. This is a, I don't know what you'd call this, maybe a light greenish, light yellowish color. I'm a bit colorblind, so excuse me. Here, There, and Everywhere, and Good Day Sunshine. It's a lighter yellow color here. They're just awesome looking records. Green here, and this is Nowhere Man and What Goes On. Some of these are the standard ABs as they were on Capitol in the US. Some have a different combination of songs. This is Yesterday and Act Naturally. Again, the pink. Then we move on to Norwegian Wood, This Bird Has Flown, and If I Needed Someone. This one is Boring Black. We have Rain and Paperback Writer, a great twofer. This is more of a transparent kind of red. These are slippery. We have Got to Get You Into My Life and Helter Skelter. Again, that's like off yellow, kind of greenish yellow color, clear. I know I'm doing a lot more than one, but this is a cool set, and I thought I'd share it. It's All Too Much, which is what I'm doing, of course, right? And Only a Northern Song, The Beatles. Beautiful blue, translucent, beautiful single. We got Magical Mystery Tour and The Fool on the Hill. And we've got, again, the a little bit lighter yellowish, goldish color. There's a couple more here. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds and When I'm 64 in a purplish color, translucent color, transparent, I guess. How about While My Guitar Gently Weeps and Blackbird in blue? Should have been Bluebird, not Blackbird, right? Across the Universe and Two of Us. That's a really light bluish green color there, maybe almost to the clearish side. Obla Di Obla Da and Julia, same kind of color on that one as the previous. And The Long and Winding Road and For You Blue, again, the nice blue, For You Blue. Nice coordination there, huh? All right, so those are some singles. Show an album that features a Beatles cover song. And I've got one. It's a little bit of a twist on it. Off the Beatle track. These are instrumental versions of the Beatles' big hits by their brilliant recording director, George Martin, and his orchestra. All right, this is on United Artists Records in mono. Interesting record, okay? Let's look at Show an Album where one of the Beatles guest starred on it. Well, I went a little bit different here. I took Miss Carly Simon from her great No Secrets album. Paul McCartney, 1972, did a backup vocal on the song Night Owl. So this one isn't as well known, but it is one that he, in fact, participated on. And this is a great album, has You're So Vain was a big hit on this one. Carly Simon with Paul McCartney on the backup there. A non-album Beatles-related item. I took a book. Yes, I did. Very special book. This is by a good friend, local person, Patricia Gallo Stenman, who lives here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And this is called Diary of a Beatlemaniac, a Fab Insider's Look at the Beatles Era. And this lady was part of the Beatles fan club back in the day, and she writes a really nice book about her experiences, has some nice pictures in here. Pick it up. It's really worth having. She's become fast a friend, and I appreciate all the hard work. Her and two other gals are called the Beatle Babes. I hope to have them on in 2024 and talk about all things Beatle. How about a favorite Giles Martin Beatles remix? Well, unfortunately, I got to copy some people because I agree. Revolver, I think, is the best so far that I have heard. It's the box set of Revolver Giles Martin remix on this. And, of course, this has also in it the mono, which was recut by Sean McGee, and it's fabulous as well. I'm going to be comparing this to my version in the mono box to see how much of a difference there is. Watch for that video here in the next month or so. Shout out to a Beatles channel I like you to watch. Well, Parlogram is really the one that, you know, he really is the most robust person in terms of depth and collection and giving us details and really interesting stories. So for me, I mean, he is the cream of the crop when it comes to the Beatles. And I can't help but say that that work has in fact influenced some of the purchases I have made in others to find best pressings. And that obviously is something that's near and dear to my heart. So Parlogram Auctions, I really give you a tip of the hat for all you do. Now, the category I've added here at the end before we wrap up is most cherished Beatles LP or associated object, so to speak. So I've got two here. I've got an LP. I've got the UHQR of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. They only made 5,000 of these. And this was the original Mobile Fidelity. Back in the day, kind of hard to read, but it was on the side here. They gave you the title. And this is, in fact, easily the best sounding Sgt. Pepper's I have ever heard. And I have compared it to UK originals. To me, to my ears, on my system, this is the king. Not cheap either. And the other is, most cherished Beatles thing is, it's heavy. This is the anthology on Laserdisc. Laser. Yeah, Laserdisc, right? Look at this. Look at these. Amazing. Amazing. For those of you who might not know what a Laserdisc is, it is pre-DVD, post-VHS, 12-inch. You have to have a Laserdisc player, which I do. And this is the full anthology. So it's a great set to have. It was $100 originally for this. And again, I think it's like 8 discs. So it was a pretty good deal per disc, so to speak. And it's worth a lot more than that these days. So that's my contribution to the Beatles Vinyl Tag. Again, Rachel, thanks for doing this. And I'll have a lot more Beatles videos this year in 2024. That is one thing that I intend to branch out to a bit more because I've been a collector since day one. As you may have heard from me say in the past, I grew up in Gary, Indiana, and VJ Records was based in Gary, Indiana. The people that started the label lived there. They put VJ Records in the drugstores at the counter, and you could get them for $2 or $3. So I was hearing the Beatles in July of 1963, long before I Want to Hold Your Hand came out or they went on Ed Sullivan. So the Beatles, what can you say? Whether you like them or you don't, or you think they're overrated or you don't, you can't deny the impact that they had on the industry as a whole. That is a fact. So again, thanks for watching. As always, if you haven't subscribed, please press on the bell and the all option, and a thumbs up or like is always appreciated, as are your comments. Again, this has been a lot of fun. I really had a lot of work to do to gather my best ofs and to find what I had and start counting how many versions I had. So it was a blast from the past. I found a few things in Discogs I didn't have, so I'm trying to get those all updated. It's all part of the hobby and part of the fun, which is why we do this. So until we meet next time, thanks again for joining me on the Safe and Sound Texas Audio Excursion. Take care, everybody.